Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Concord Township Board of Trustee meeting for May 7th, 2025. And would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarch. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present. All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. We have
Yes.
two approvals.
I will make a motion to approve the April 16th, 2025 regular trustees meeting minutes.
And I will second. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I will make a motion to approve the April 21st, 2025 staff meeting minutes.
And I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, elected officials reports. Fiscal Officer, Mr. Patriarch.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. As of April 30th, 2025, we were 33% of the way through the calendar year. Balance of the 21 active funds within the Township Treasury was at $10.6 million. The Treasury balance includes approximately $299,000 in funds set aside for specific projects. Year-to-date expenditures for the Township are at $4.3 million, or 28% of the amount appropriated for the 2025 budget. Year-to-date revenue is just under $8.8 million, and these figures keep Concord Township on track to stay within the 2025 budget. If residents have any specific questions regarding Township finances, please reach out to me directly at 440-354-7516. I'd like to close out my report this evening by wishing all the moms of Concord Township a happy Mother's Day weekend. Hopefully they can enjoy that with family, friends, loved ones, or whoever else may be out there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarch. Trustee report, Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. I had the honor of attending the Arbor Day event over at the community center. Petiti Garden Center donated a Sweet Bay magnolia that the service department planted. We had a lot of the garden club members over there. Even though it was rainy and wet, it was a nice event. So thank you to the service department and the garden club members of Petiti for donating that tree for us for Arbor Day. Seen a lot of activity over there by Quail Hollow. I don't know, it seems like there's a lot of action. I drove by a few times this week. So there's movement over there. I had the opportunity to speak with the chief deputy over at the sheriff's department last week, and it's nice to see some of the fruits of our investment with the additional manpower from the sheriff's department. I know that they had a reporter from a local news channel riding with one of the patrol units just to do a news story. During the course of that, there were two incidents in Concord Township. One was the arrest of a burglary subject, and the other was the result of those flock cameras that we put up at some strategic locations in Concord that hit on a stolen vehicle and trailer out of the Cleveland area that was located. Once the flock camera hit, the deputies were in the area as a result of working on some additional targeted enforcement patrols and located the suspect in the vehicle and trailer in the overflow lot over at McDonald's. So it's nice to see a lot of that activity being handled before it gets worse. Yeah. I know there's been a lot of traffic stops and good drug arrests and things of that nature with a lot of significant narcotics coming through the area. So it's nice that that stuff's taken off the street. So I'm happy to report that there seems to be some good activity and proactive enforcement going on with that, with the additional manpower that we invested in. Other than that, I would like to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day Sunday. I know, I have my wife who does a lot for us, so happy Mother's Day to her and the rest of them on Sunday. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. Yeah, I know you and I talked a bit, and just being able to have adequate funding in law enforcement, and there's been a flurry of activity, I think, since we're committed to having the higher level of patrols, Concord Township, Painesville Township, and there's been a lot of very good arrests, a lot of good law enforcement going on. So it's very comforting to have that. Last week, I had the privilege of attending the opening ceremony or an event at the Tri-Point Hospital for the addition to UH Seidman Cancer Center opening last week, and we got to hear Dr. Strohsinger talk, and I forget who was it, Dr. Ted, right? Wasn't
Yes, I don't remember his last name though.
but talk about the investments they're making in Concord, and it was quite a story. I mean, I remember thinking, spent a little bit here and there, but as far as my awareness of what's going on there, it's been a flood of information lately, and I really think it's important that the community understand the investment that University Hospitals has made in there. The Seidman Cancer Center is well down the list of other things. They have invested in the emergency room. They've done a lot of other things. I saw Dr. Strohsinger speak at the Mayors and Managers luncheon, not this month, but last month. And she had talked about responding to the requests of the mayors and making that ER more responsive, and their stats are phenomenally better. So we've invited Dr. Strohsinger to come in, dialogue with the trustees and give more of a report, because I think it's
She'll be at the next meeting.
yeah, this month, the next meeting this month, we'll be hearing from her just to have a dialogue and have some great conversation about what's going on, because I know years past, people in the community don't reflect on that hospital as positively as I think they ought to now, because universities put a lot into it. So it was great to see it. Very well attended event and a lot of appropriate recognition. I know Dr. Strohsinger was recognized for her investment in the community in that hospital and the work that she's been doing. So it's something that we need to start having a little bit of pride in Concord Township, I feel like. This week, actually today, I submitted written testimony because of this meeting. I wasn't able to get down to the Senate, but the Finance Committee was holding a hearing, and I submitted written testimony because I'm concerned about all of the reform that's being called for in Columbus about reforming, reducing, or eliminating property tax, and some of the calls to eliminate or reduce the income tax. And in years past, every time the state legislature has gone to make Ohio a more tax-friendly state, township government has suffered. I know when I did some looking at figures in 2019 as a trustee candidate that former fiscal officer Dawson and I looked at and come up with a range of dollars, $300,000 to $600,000 a year, that phase out of certain taxes at the state level hurt the township. And my chief concern is that if they just focus on cutting taxes, that they'll cut our budget. And I think it's important that the state legislature know when they cut taxes at the state level, if it hurts funding downstream to the local governments, all that does is increase the pressure we face to increase taxes in the form of, in townships, all we have is levies. So I'm making an effort to try to make our position well understood, because we passed a fire levy that's helped complement funding the police and fire by 130 votes, 1%. Right. Painesville Township's fire levy passed by 19 votes. Mm-hmm. So it's not that we can put safety levies out there and just count on them being passed anymore. There is a lot of pushback and opposition. And without those levies, it's the difference between having adequate forces and not. Right. So it's important. I feel that the state legislature understand that, and I'm doing my best to communicate that. Great. On behalf of the residents in Concord. I know the Quail Hollow Hotel sale was finalized and the new owners digging in over there. I was also contacted by a resident recently that was another person expressing interest on a bike path or a bike lane for Crowell Road where the bike path ends. And having done a little research on that, I do know that that is, not only is it a county road, it's something that county budget is not legally able to use their dollars for. So I was turned to pursue funding at NOACA. That's, for those that don't know, that's a coordinating agency that handles federal funding for 5 counties, of which Lake County is one. So that's something that more than likely we're going to have to dig into the 26 cycles of, 25's over, and of course we'll be competing with 5 other counties. Right. So we'll see what we can do there. And I would also like to wish the mothers a very happy Mother's Day. And with that concludes my report. Next, department reports, Administrator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, members of the board, Mr. Patriarca, members of the audience, good evening. Start with a few items that are on the agenda. Item A is a vote to grant the permission to the zoning department to advertise for a request for proposal, an RFP for a updated comprehensive plan. As you know, we've been talking about the comprehensive plan for quite some time, and it's time to get things kicked off. Items B through E are all votes related to personnel, 2 votes for fire and 2 votes for the service department, so I encourage positive votes on both of those. As mentioned, Quail Hollow Hotels in the process, changed ownership, busy with activity. Looks like, they're cleaning up, making repairs. Plan to do a check-in with them next week just to see how it's going and see if they need anything on our end. Auburn Road Waterline project is nearing the finish line. The fire hydrants are being installed this week along Auburn Road. Once the hydrants are installed, they will fill and pressure test the system, and then they will move on to the service line installation. Things are still on track. They are scheduled to complete the project by the end of June. Next coffee with the administrators a week from tomorrow, May 15th at 9 a.m. at the community center. I look forward to seeing folks there, chatting them up, and getting the inside scoop from the residents. It's always a enlightening conversation. Garden Club's annual plant and bake sale, which is an extremely popular event, will be held this Saturday. It runs from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at the community center. I encourage folks to get there early to take advantage of the very good selection that they always put out, and we appreciate any support to the Garden Club. And finally, I wish all the moms out there a very happy Mother's Day. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Next, from the Fire Department, Chief Sabo.
Good evening, everyone. So for the month of April, we had a total of 245 events, including 163 EMS calls with 134 transports. We had 82 non-EMS events, including 6 fires, 3 inside of Concord, including 1 building fire, 1 brush grass fire, and 1 outside rubbish fire. Outside, we assisted in 3 structure fires. We gave mutual aid 23 times and received mutual aid 8 times, and we had 93 overlapping calls for 38%. Our Fire Prevention Bureau completed 98 inspections, accounting for about 127 hours, with 8 plan reviews and also 8 hours of continuing education. Our public education division there of the Fire Prevention Bureau had some great programs over the month. On April 19th, we had our first pet CPR and first aid program, along with fire safety. On April 22nd, we had CPR training at Concord Family Practice. On April 22nd, throughout the month, we had all of our firefighters, including also Lake County 911 dispatchers, and some other participants came to Station 1 to get training in autism awareness and how to work with individuals that are on the autism spectrum. So that was very valuable information, and we appreciate that organization coming out and giving us some that education. We also did a soft kickoff of our new relationship with the American Red Cross with our smoke detector program. So far, we've installed 20 10-year battery smoke detectors in 4 homes. So that's showing to be very effective. And we also, part of that, we included a home escape plan development and fire safety instructions. So that was a nice opportunity. We also installed 3 Knox boxes, and we had 5 returned. The reason we had 5 returned is because these Knox boxes, these residential lock boxes, can't go with you. If you leave Concord Township, you can't take them with you to Menor or Painesville Township or Columbus. We are the only ones that have a key that work in these things. So they're very specific in terms of jurisdiction, and that's part of the safety measure of these boxes. Our bureau has also been busy, as you mentioned, the Seidman Cancer Center. Our Fire Prevention Bureau has been very busy working with them side by side through their process and making sure that they're getting everything they need in terms of plan reviews, fire protection systems, and so forth. And they've also been busy with the new owners at Quail Hollow and just developing that relationship and helping them along the way, just giving them some new guidance. Earlier this year, we made mention that we had sold our engine 1313. It was our 1996 pumper that served us well, but we had to decommission that. It has been sold, it's been picked up, and now it's in Georgia at a fire training facility down there. We did go down to the far southern tip of Illinois, and we made a purchase of a used, I think it's a 2006 pumper, Pierce pumper, from a dealer down there. So he is in the process of addressing a lot of the issues with it. There's not a lot of issues, but there's things, lights that are broke and stuff like that, that windshield needs replaced and stuff like that. So he's working through everything. He's very receptive to all the things that myself and the Captain Homovac brought to his attention that needs fixed. So it's not a sale as is, where is kind of deal. It's this seller is very. I'd work with him again. He was very accommodating and making sure that all the issues with the truck are fixed before it gets shipped up here. So we're looking forward to getting that delivered here very soon. And lastly, it's my pleasure to present to the Board of Trustees on behalf of Concord Township Fire Department our 2024 annual report. In it is just a lot of our stats and information about all of our activities over the year of 2024, including a couple of key retirements. So it's my pleasure to
Thank you.
hand that over, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. And with that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next department of service, Mr. Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Evening.
The service department the past month prepared our trucks for summer operations, removing the plows and spreaders.
Sure, we don't need that plow.
We don't need that plow. Our crews have been out making repairs to curb inlet basins and to our concrete roadways throughout the township. We perform maintenance to our bioretention cul-de-sacs within the township, freshening up the mulch and stone, along with applying pre-emergent weed control and tree trimming. Our crews also perform culvert replacements, ditch maintenance, and cemetery operations. As Mr. Dondorfer stated earlier, on April 25th, the township celebrated Arbor Day with the planting of the Sweet Bay Magnolia tree at the community center. We would like to thank Petiti Family Farms for the generous donation of the Magnolia tree, and to the Concord Garden Club for their support to the township in braving the wet weather on that day. The yard waste drop-off continues to get steady traffic from residents and is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Residents are permitted to drop off yard waste in paper biodegradable bags. The service department will offer the second brush day collection on Saturday, March 17th. From 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Residents can drop off brush up to 4 inches in diameter. No lumber, landscape timber, railroad ties, or stumps are permitted. The yard waste drop-off will also be open on this day.
May 17th.
May 17th, what did I say?
March.
I'm sorry, May 17th. The 2025 road resurfacing projects will begin the week of 5/12, and the contractor's estimated completion date is June 13th. Residents in the area of these projects should expect some delays during the construction process. The service department encourages residents with questions or concerns to contact us at 440-350-3225 or by email at concordtwp.com under service. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Zoning department, Ms. Freeman.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
Okay, so during the month of April, zoning department staff processed 42 zoning permit applications and collected just over $5,000 in fees. The vast majority of the permits were for residential projects and included 10 new accessory buildings, 8 decks, 8 fences, 4 new single-family dwellings, 3 additions onto residential homes, with the remaining permits being for other yard accessory structures. Additionally, staff completed 102 property inspections and issued 20 zoning certificate of compliances for projects that were completed. Last night, the Zoning Commission held their work session, and they continued their discussion about small solar energy systems for residential and commercial properties in the township. Next week, the Board of Zoning Appeals will have 2 public hearings for variance applications. The detailed agenda may be found on the township's website. And lastly, as Mr. Rose indicated, there is an item on tonight's agenda for the trustees, item under new business A, if approved, would give the zoning department permission to advertise a request for proposals seeking an experienced professional planning consultant or a team to facilitate a comprehensive planning process that will result in a new comprehensive plan to help guide the township's growth over the next 20 years. The intention would be to hire a firm that will have experience in community visioning, design, land use, environmental planning, economic analysis, and including in citizen involvement. Ideally, if we can get a contract signed, the work would start hopefully this summer, and it would take about a year to work through the process. Last month, I did submit a grant application to the Ohio Department of Development, the Housing Technical Assistance Program, requesting a grant of $75,000 that, if we get awarded this grant, will help offset the cost of doing the comprehensive plan. We'll probably know in the next few weeks what happened with that grant opportunity. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Recreation Department, Mr. Supler.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to start off by sending our condolences to the family of Joe Morgan. Joe has been our tennis instructor here for the last several years. He unfortunately passed away over this last weekend. I just attended his wake right before I came here. Joe was a great tennis instructor. I worked with him actually for the last 20 years. I've known Joe because he played in the softball league that I started in Mayfield Village, and then he was our tennis instructor for there before I brought him out here to do some programming for Concord. He also served as a mentor girls and Mayfield boys tennis coaches. He was a pillar in both communities and all over Northeast Ohio. Joe is a great person, great friend, great coach, and he will be missed. In terms of our tennis programming, for those that are signed up, we're still working on a plan for them, so just sit tight, but we'll be in touch with all of them shortly. Now I wanted to discuss some programs and numbers for our last 60 days since our grapevine was released. We had, in the last 60 days, we had 426 program registrations. We had 321 of those were Concord residents, which is great numbers for us. We had 252 new profiles created in the last 60 days. 130 of those were Concord residents. Our e-grapevine is up to 3,602 people. That's a 10% increase since March 1st, when we added over 300 emails again since March 1st. Our most popular program going right now is our Rookie Sports Clubs. That's for our ages 3 to 6 year olds. Our soccer program for 3 and 4 year olds, that is full at 24 spots. 20% of those are Concord residents, which is 83%. Our 5 and 6 year old spots is 18 spots of 24 filled. That's with 16 of those being Concord residents. That's 88% of Concord residents. Our baseball program, our 3 and 4 year old T-ball program, we filled up at 24 spots. We opened another 24 spots. We have filled 46 of those 48 spots, with 34 being Concord residents, which is a staggering 74% being Concord residents for our T-ball. Our 5 and 6 year olds, we have 19 spots, with 13 of those being Concord residents, which is a total of 68%. So those are great numbers for our youth programs there, especially for our Concord residents. So a recap of our few recent events this afternoon. We had our Mother's Day tea for our 55 plus group. We had 68 seniors registered for that. It was a very nice event. I want to thank our recreation department for putting on the luncheon. Susie Cobb, who made pretty much all of the food. Her mother-in-law, who baked tons of fresh cookies and pastries for everyone. And then to her mother and Kelly, our facility attendant, who helped set up and clean up and do everything else. And then to Rachel Lamb, who's just the face of the 55 plus group. She does a great job for all of our programs there. I just want to thank our sponsors, University Hospitals. They donated flowers for centerpieces and did free blood pressure checks. Home Instead, they gave us gift cards to use towards food, and then Chardon Healthcare also donated food. On April 5th, we had our Easter egg hunt at the fire station. The turnout was very great for that. A lot of positive feedback from residents, and again, want to thank our fire department for allowing us to use their space for our community events recently. On April 11th and 12th, we had our spring garage sale at the community center. We had 24 vendors and over 600 people walk through the door that weekend, which is very good for us. As Mr. Rose indicated, we have our garden club plant sale this coming Saturday from 9 to 11:30 at the community center. Some upcoming 55 plus. We have our foot clinic appointment with Dr. Saxon on May 19th, and then baseball themed bingo, which is 1 o'clock on Wednesday, May 21st. The community center, we are pretty much booked up through August, which is great. We have a couple Fridays here and there, but all Saturdays and Sundays are booked up. We've had a large number of HOAs reach out to us recently to set up their meetings as well, so it's been very busy over there. Old Stone School, on May 12th from 8:30 to 10, he's doing a full moon open house tours. And then Memorial Day tours on the May 27th from 3:30 to 5. So anyone that's interested in checking out the new stuff he has displayed at Old Stone School, go talk with Dan Maxon over there. Our summer concert series is coming up quickly. We want to remind everyone that our first concert will be on Thursday, June 12th, not the 5th, and go from 6:30 to 8:30. The schedule is up on the website, and we will have more information about that as well coming up at our next meeting. And then just a placeholder, our Concord Community Day will be on Saturday, August 9th, and we'll have a lot more information out about that. And as always, please continue to sign up for the e-grapevine by visiting the website, or you can call the Recreation Department. We can help you out with that, or registering for any programs or any questions, and you can do that by reaching us at 440-639-4650, and happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sean.
Sean. Appreciate it.
And the Lake County Sheriff's Department, and tonight we have with us Sergeant Kelly. Welcome.
Good evening.
All right, for the month of April, we handled 950 calls for service in Concord Township to include 4 injury accidents, 12 property damage accidents, 27 citations were issued, 234 warnings, and 1 party was arrested for OVI. We had a total of 10 arrests. Some of the more notable ones, on the 12th, one of our deputies was doing proactive traffic enforcement on 44, observed a motor vehicle with a registration violation, and then observed it to do a marked lane violation. A traffic stop was initiated. The operator of the motor vehicle was suspended, and the vehicle was subsequently going to be towed. An inventory search of the motor vehicle relinquished 1.887 pounds of methamphetamine. There was a loaded handgun in the motor vehicle, and there was also body armor inside the vehicle for this guy to wear. He was placed into custody and transported to Lake County Jail without incident and booked in for numerous charges to include possession of a controlled substance, felony of the first degree, trafficking in drugs, a felony of the first degree, weapons while under disability, a felony of the third degree. And then on the, excuse me, let me find it here. Where'd it go? On the 28th of April, we were dispatched over to Auburn Road. There is obviously construction going on over there, and some of the construction workers called in and they saw a suspicious vehicle by a vacant house. Upon arrival, we went inside the residence. We located the vehicle. The rear window of the van was broken out of it. We went inside that particular dwelling and there was nobody that answered us. While checking the perimeter of the outside of the house, Lieutenant Rako happened to see a female hiding in some brush. He called out to her and she proceeded to flee the scene on foot, where she was apprehended without incident a short while later. She was booked into Lake County Jail for obstructing official business, criminal trespassing, and breaking and entering into the structure, which is an F5. We reached out to the owner of that property. However, they are no longer in the country. So we reached out to somebody who's supposed to be maintaining the property for them. And they did wish to pursue criminal charges. One more notable incident that we had, we arrested a gentleman over at 9956 Johnny Cake, Ridge Glen Condominiums. The gentleman was arrested for domestic violence, assault, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. He fled from deputies when we arrived on scene and was caught across the street, placed into custody without any further incident. And there was also an arrest for a probation violation warrant. One thing that I would like to comment on, I am the supervisor or one of the supervisors on day shift, and I've personally been doing this. We are currently addressing the traffic complaints for speed that we have received for 608 Concord Hampton Road right here, and Williams right up the road here. I actually sat across from the fire station earlier today. Pinecrest Road and Page Drive. We are addressing that, and we are taking proactive measures to kind of quell the speeding issues that we're having. And I believe that is it. The only other thing that I would like to touch on is St. Gabe's Festival is coming up here, and obviously we had several issues and problems with that last year. Myself and Lieutenant Rako have been in a couple of meetings with St. Gabe's, and we've been working out some security measures and stuff like that to try and quell what happened last year. So again, this is a work in progress, and we should have more, to provide you sometime before then. That's all I have.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sergeant Kelly.
Busy.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Audience portion, any member of the audience wish to address the board tonight? Seeing none, we'll move into old business, of which there is none, and we will get into our new business this evening.
I will make a motion to approve the zoning department permission to advertise for requests for proposals for a comprehensive plan.
And I will second. Just like to touch on that for a minute. For those that follow, to try to understand what the value of a comprehensive plan is, something that sort of helps guide us a lot of times when businesses and so forth come in, zoning, rezoning, and all of that. We always look to the comprehensive plan, and it's been 10 years since we last had a conversation about that. The foundational plan that we had for that is nearing 20 years old. So we're at a point where we're going to put a hefty amount of energy into this comprehensive plan. So it'll be important, and I can certainly say how valuable it was as a zoning commission member, but we've had a number of zoning issues as trustees the last few years, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's happened and we need to update the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely realize that, I think we all do, it's a strategic piece to the future of Concord Township. And like Heather said earlier in her report, I mean, it's a roadmap for the next 20 years, and we need that to make sure we're making the best decisions for the future of Concord. So,
and we've had a lot of things happen. I mean, when the last time the comp plan was done and updated, I mean, Quail Hollow was a functioning, vibrant hotel.
Yeah.
It's now changed hands. And so, depending on what happens there, if we're approached and asked questions, and we don't really have a good roadmap. So it's a really good time to take that up. And I think, we're excited for the opportunity to dig into some of this. So.
Right.
Anyway, with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
I will make a motion to approve the fire department approval of the voluntary transition of firefighter 1 William Telfer to the position of part-time firefighter paramedic effective June 1st, 2025.
And I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve fire department a conditional offer of employment to John Albert for the position of part-time regular firefighter EMT basic pending completion of all new hire paperwork.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the service department seasonal full-time employee Aiden Sweeney effective 5/7/25 at the rate of $18 an hour.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll make a motion to approve Service Department seasonal full-time employee Nathan Shalito, effective 5/7/25 at the rate of $16 an hour.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and final agenda item is the future meetings announcements. Mr. Patriarch.
May 14th, 7 p.m., BZA meeting at Town Hall. May 19th at 3 p.m., staff meeting at Town Hall. May 21st from 5 to 6 p.m., trustee office hours in the conference room, followed by trustee meeting at Town Hall at 6 p.m.
All right, thank you. And with that, we will adjourn our meeting. Have a nice evening.
Good evening, Concord.